everybody, and welcome back to the TechZulu Penthouse during Silicon Beach Fest here in Santa Monica, California. And we are at this lovely rooftop. This is at Real Office Centers at 6th and Arizona in Santa Monica. If you're nearby, you should come over. And right now, we are talking with Eric Doyle of Wavesquad. How are you?
I'm excellent. Enjoying this great weather here. It's really nice.
I know, right? Isn't Santa Monica's beautiful?
Oh, it's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better location.
Yeah. I think the location alone just made tons of people come out in droves. How many people do you think you've run into here at Silicon Beach Fest so far?
Oh, at least 100, if not more. I've got so many business cards, had some great conversations. It's a really valuable session. This morning I went to one on content marketing, and it was really valuable. They even got into a little bit of a fisticuffs debate on stage. Not quite fisticuffs, but
hey, that's fun.
Yeah. It was good. It was very informative. You know, it wasn't just vendors up there pitching their thing. It was actually encouraging an industry discussion and knowledge sharing, and that's really what it's all about.
I mean, the sessions are definitely high level here. The caliber of the speakers is really excellent, I think, if you look at the entire list.
Yeah, I thought it's been good. Sometimes you can go to events and there's never a perfect panel, but sometimes you're a little disappointed. But I think for the most part, the panels here have been really good. Yeah.
What's your take on the tech scene in Los Angeles right now? You were up in San Francisco for about a decade, and you've been back here in LA for the last couple of years. So what's it like here? How would you compare? What would you say makes LA unique in the tech world?
Well, definitely the ability to combine entertainment with technology, and that's a really strong point for the area. You know, you have film and music. I really like the techtainment space.
Techtainment? I haven't really heard that before.
Yeah, can I trademark that? Is that my own thing now? But yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, you know, Silicon Valley's little cousin or little brother that's growing bigger and stronger, and there's a lot of opportunity here, and it's an exciting time to be in LA. Not that there's not great things happening in Silicon Valley, but it's nice to be a part of something that's starting up and coming, and so, yeah.
That's definitely a sentiment I've heard echoed all around Los Angeles, just this notion of how often do you get a chance in your life to be part of a growing wave of something in a community where you're actually one of those key players. So I think that's exciting for people.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, it's just great to see what people are doing across a number of different industries and just learning about new technologies and offerings that you just wouldn't know even exist, you know. So it's good.
Well, speaking of new technologies that people don't necessarily know exist or new companies, let's talk a little bit about Wavesquad.
So we are a PR and social media marketing firm. We work with both consumer and business, a lot of technology companies. But first and foremost, we really consider ourselves to be marketers, and we can tell stories. It doesn't have to just be tech. We're looking more to get involved with more entertainment type clients. You know, we've worked with Earbits, we've worked with Embark, which is a mobile transit app, and Earbits is a streaming music service for discovering indie music. Great little company, you should check them out. Yeah, so that's basically what we do. We help companies figure out the best way to tell their story, to whom to tell it to, and how to tell it.
And, you know, I appreciate having someone from the PR world talk with us, because a lot of times you get kind of pushed back a little bit, or you know, you're behind the scenes,
right.
But PR is changing and shifting so much because of the way the market's changing. So you said you went to a content marketing panel this morning, and content marketing is just this buzzword that you hear everywhere, and also brands as publishers. So how is that impacting your work as a PR professional?
Well, I don't think, you know, content marketing is definitely, it's a good buzzword, and I think one of the reasons, it's not new, however, it's just more prominent now because there is so much content on the web, and so being able to rise above the noise and connect with your audience in a sustained way over time is becoming more and more important now. And, you know, I think that, you know, for us, it's not, you know, brands are looking at not just how a piece of content like a great article on TechZulu, for example, is good for like a little, you know, a couple weeks, but how they can leverage that over time, you know, because a lot of startups, they have small budgets and they want to be able to leverage content that mentions them or content that they create over a sustained period of time. So there's a lot of interesting strategies and different technologies that are being used out there. One company that I thought was interesting is called Outbrain. They have a way to, it's kind of a pay-per-click model where they serve up related content, which does not really look like an overt ad, but it's a way to extend your and distribute your content in a really pretty cost-effective way, because you can get articles and get coverage even in the New York Times, and if it's buried or if it's not shared a lot, it's nice from an ego standpoint to get there, but in terms of it helping drive traffic or signups, sometimes it can be it can be disappointing, and it's a matter of kind of educating clients and managing expectations around what they expect to get out of a certain article.
That's actually a really good point, and one thing I would love for you to elaborate on just slightly without giving away all your secrets is, especially for startups. Startups don't have lots of what you would consider, I guess, hard news announcements, corporate announcements.
Right.
They're in a private beta. They're building their product. They're testing their product. They're building an initial community. And then when they do get out there, then they'll come out with different feature sets or maybe a round of funding, stuff like that. But how does a company that's in those early stages maintain consistency in terms of just their share of voice out there, in terms of the awareness around them? What are some things they can be doing, or what are some strategies that a PR person should be employing for them?
Well, I think one thing is to create your own content. If you don't have news, either create your own, do a guest contributed article to TechZulu, for example, or to another influential publication that reaches your audience that you want to connect with. I think another thing is to, if you don't have specific product or company news, look at cost-effective ways to create news. You might want to create a poll or something that provides valuable information to a publication's readership. It's not just totally self-promotional. It's actually giving back to the community, and it's a way to get your brand and your product out there. There's different polling services you can do. Some later stage startups, they may want to work with an analyst firm and underwrite an analyst report or a survey that could serve as a news piece. There's lots of different approaches that you can use.
What about this word that we hear a lot too in terms of thought leadership? What do PR people mean when they say thought leadership?
I don't know.
You're like, that's not my word. I don't use that.
God, I don't know. It's one of those buzz terms. I think at the end of the day, what it really means is taking a position on a topic from a particular viewpoint that's really in line with your view on a business problem that you're trying to solve. For some people, becoming a thought leader means providing content and information on a regular basis to the community. It doesn't necessarily, you don't have to have 1 million downloads of your app to necessarily become a thought leader. You can be one of those on the path to that, in my opinion. So, I think it's really engaging in the discussion, engaging in the conversation, contributing something to that that's valuable, and just getting out there, going to events, being active online and social media, and showing that you're a part of the conversation and not just taking from the community.
Yeah. I think I would just call them good sources.
Good sources.
Be a good source for me. Be a good source for journalists. Be a good source for bloggers.
Yeah.
Get in touch with them when there's big breaking industry news and give your take on it, right?
Yeah. No, that's a great way to describe it. Yeah.
Anything else that you're noticing from the PR side of things as it relates to the tech industry overall right now, or as it relates to the LA tech community?
Well, like for startups, I think that there's, this has been true for several years now, there's many niches in the long tail of different kinds of bloggers. There's big publications that have editors that approve stories and have to report to, but then there's the more entrepreneurial consumer blogger who is maybe very influential, but is not going to write a story just because you pitch them a story. They may have a large readership, they have a significant ad revenue, And so there's other kinds of programs like product giveaways that you can do, and contests and promotions that provide value to their audience and also, for the brand. But it's I think, for years now, some PR people have tried and failed to pitch stories to these consumer bloggers, and they don't, especially if they're kind of pushing their product on it. It's just not the way to really approach that particular kind of writer. So I think that's definitely, and that's been true for several years now. But surprisingly enough, there's still a lot of PR people out there who are pitching stories to these bloggers, like those kinds of bloggers, and it just doesn't work. Yeah.
Completely different approach.
Yeah.
And I guess any final thoughts that you want to share? Anything we haven't covered here? Any companies that you're really excited about right now that you want to give a shout out to?
Let's see. I'm trying to think. Well, I love
as we scan things on the rooftop.
Yeah. Well, I'm a little biased, I guess, because I love Earbits. I love their scrappy little company. And
we do too, though. We love Joey. Yeah. We love Earbits. Can't help it.
He's great. He's great. I'm trying to think. Who else? I'm just kind of taking it all in here, collecting cards, and I'm going to go home and kind of look some people up and figure out who we might want to possibly partner with. Yeah.
I like the idea of that. Well, thank you so much for sharing your insights on Silicon Beach and LA Tech and Silicon Beach Fest here in Santa Monica. This is Eric Doyle with Wavesquad, and I am Amanda Coulong with TechZulu here at the TechZulu Penthouse.